Welcome to the NEC Women in Business series. At NEC, we'd like to take this opportunity to celebrate the social, economic, cultural and political achievements of women around the globe. Throughout this series, we'll be talking to women from NEC and highlighting their experiences, knowledge and mindsets within the business. Today we have with us Rosemary, Administrative Assistant for Corporate Operations in NT at NEC Australia. Rosemary has been with NEC for 3.5 years after coming from the mining industry. She's previously operated a freelance business consultancy in promoting training management and is a Territorian of 34 years. What does your ongoing professional learning look like?
My ongoing learning is on a day-to-day basis, learning more about the business, how it needs to function, because my primary role is to support that need and to help it happen. It's very much on the ground. And it's dynamic. It's very, very dynamic because things change, as you know, all the time.
Tell me, how do you juggle your roles then, obviously within the workplace and, in private life?
Here's where I get on my soapbox. It's inordinately important to build a support team around you of like-minded people who are willing and able to help you, and you're able to help them, because no one really progresses on their own.
Trying to juggle, work-life balance as well, if you've got family and friend needs that, that come into the mix too. So being able to have people that are there to support is really important in both aspects.
Everything is interwoven. And our relationships at work, our relationships at home, our relationships in the community are all interwoven, and how important it is for our own psychological and emotional health to feel connected with people and just feel settled in our relationships.
What strategies do you use to ensure that during change you remain positive both for yourself and for those around you?
I came from the forces. My family were a forces family, and it helped me to learn to understand that change can be really good, that clinging on to the past isn't necessarily healthy. And so I find change exciting. I think that if someone comes up to me and says, I don't think I really like that change, I'm not coping very well, well, I do understand, and I have to appreciate that is their perspective on it, but also to have the opportunity to encourage them and say, look, you're doing well. And I think that helps.
I think the feedback is definitely part of that positivity too.
We can't change it. Life changes all the time. There's so many unpredictables. We get blindsided.
What would you tell your 18-year-old self about your career management?
Pace. Pace is important, because if you're the type of person who gets anxious because you don't feel you're achieving much or you should be doing more, and you look around you, and of course the worst thing we've all learnt to do is compare ourselves with other people, and that's a big no-no. Be kind to yourself, to really really have a plan to self-care. It's important to understand you can't do everything yourself. It's impossible. And I think finding what you really care about most is really essential to help you then start prioritising.
What does mentorship mean to you, and how do you think that helps women progress in their careers and drive learning and development?
Finding people that you admire, that's really important. So I think it's really helpful to find somebody you admire in terms of maybe not necessarily what they've achieved, but how they've achieved it. Then that's your starting point. I think if you find someone that you can say, that's the way I want to do things, that's inspiring. When we're watching, we learn a lot more than hearing or speaking or reading. I think example is the best way to learn.
Rosemary, thank you so much for joining me today and sharing your knowledge, experiences and stories. It's been great hearing your thoughts around women in business. Join us for the next episode of the series to hear from other females within NEC and their varied experiences also within business.